Hey everybody, how are you? Hope you're doing good. Didn't really have anything planned for today. Uh, gonna do random shit. That good with you guys? Good. I'm doing good. I do not, bruh. Unless you changed your name, which you probably did. How is everybody tonight? You doing good? Good to hear. If so. You spelled Stewie Griffin wrong. Just tossing that out there. Hey Blaze King, how are you? I could not. I'm gonna be live for about maybe an hour. That's the thing. Yep, I'm good. Good, pretty good.
Oh, looks like someone's hosting you. Neat.
Thank you for the host. Greatly appreciated. Yeah, Stewie. So, what'd you guys have for dinner and all that? Oh, that's unfortunate, Blaze King. Very unfortunate. I got off work pretty not too long ago. So that's the thing. I'm gonna be streaming for about 45 minutes just to have random shit happen. I guess. What's Ligma? My Nightbot is actually pretty friggin' useful, if I do say so myself. So it's saying those things for a reason. Because I'm not Goku. My name's Gur. So that's neat, Rob. Yeah, because you're not supposed to call me Goku. My name's Gur. That's why. That would be why that happened. Are you surprised? You shouldn't be. I didn't really have much planned for tonight, so yeah. Stewie just said that. Take it home with you. Nothing much, Carter. Like I said, we're just kind of chilling today. Um, yeah. Haven't streamed in a while, so I figured I'd just, do that. And once again, Goku-san, that is for a reason, as I've repeated myself 3 times now. It's because my name is Gur, not Goku. And people come in here and say that a lot. and thus they get timed out for it. And do what on Xenoverse 2? What do you want me to do on Xenoverse 2, Alpha? I'm not going to play any game tonight. We're just hanging out. I'm a roof baby. You're damn right I'm a roof baby. Are you guys roof babies? Why bad? That has nothing to do with the question that you asked, Arthur. You asked me to play Xenoverse 2 again, okay? What do you want me to do on Xenoverse 2? For God, every time someone says play Xenoverse 2, I ask them what do they want me to do on there, and I never get an answer. Ever. What about Japan? A lot. So that's the thing. I did all the parallel quests. I may have not done all of them on, for my playthrough, but that'd be a waste of my time, honestly. Just doing the parallel quests for videos. That'd be a freaking huge cop out. Yeah, Nightbot's pretty good. Pretty good. That's the thing. So what'd you guys have for dinner and stuff? And good, good. Diva's amazing, Vegeta. I agree. My Stewie voice is literally just my normal speaking voice with a British accent, as it were. And my Goku is just my normal speaking voice with sort of an upward tone to the type of it. And I'm kind of answering everything as if it was a question, kind of like this. But yeah, it's everything with an upward inflection for my normal speaking voice. I like pizza. Pizza's delicious. Hi, Crossy. I had um, what did I have? I had a cheeseburger, some potatoes, and carrots. So what'd you get from Taco Bell, Jermaine? Yeah, Diva's gorgeous. Things I would do to her. I'm not sure if the title of the stream updated, but it's supposed to say Stew and A. Just I don't know, Q and A. Let's go. Ask me whatever you want. I don't like potato salad, which is weird considering I like potatoes, I like mayonnaise, I like onions, kind of a texture thing, and I enjoy mustard. So it's weird. Doritos Locos Tacos are delicious. I love them. Verde sauce. Put that on there. Hardest voice for me to do. Uh, I guess the one that gives me the most strain would probably be my Linda Young Frieza. Grandma Frieza, as it were. Probably the one that gives me the most strain on my vocal cords. Um, that's a hard one, Blaze King. I'd say try to distract yourself with other things. Yeah, try to separate yourself from her, which is obviously easier said than not. Yeah, Diva is the truth. I love Diva. I'm down. Yeah, see, doing Vegeta for me, it's not really strenuous in the short term. But for example, for my Devil May Cry 5 series, where I have to do it for 40 minutes straight, yeah, that kills my throat. But yeah, other than that, hey Raven, how are you? Oh well, shit, Blaze King. All I can say is just do as best you can to avoid eye contact and stay away from her. Which like I said earlier, is easier said than done. Well, do you like her back? Is she cute? I think if you knock down the Smash Diva, there's something wrong with you. Once again, to explain it, Connor, um, my Stewie is just my normal speaking voice with the British accent behind it. So there's that. And then Vegeta is well, Mark Malzahn described it as an abridged Brian Drummond Vegeta. Like it fits the character, but it's not quite Sabbath. It's a parody of Laddie Pator's Vegeta, if anything. He has it. And my Goku is just my normal speaking voice with an upward inflection from on it, and all happy-go-lucky and such. My Edward Elric is just my normal speaking voice with like talking from my nose. Uh, let's see. My Joe Swalson is just my normal speaking voice coming back from the from the back of my throat. So there's that. Um, well, I'd say do this then. First, you walk up to her and you go, "Hey, yo, bitch." And then first, she's gonna be all offended and shit that you called her a bitch. But now you have her attention. Like you say, "Let me buy you a taco." You know how that works? Because you offered her food. Everybody likes Mexican food. And if you don't like Mexican food, you're lying. Just saying. How tired am I? Pretty tired. Long day at work. My coworker wasn't really carrying her weight. Uh, yeah, I don't know why people don't do that. If you want to, get past the The Goku filter on my Nightbot thing. Why don't you say Kakarot instead? How you beat the system. Nobody's tried that yet. Why?
Someone's following you. But why though?
Thank you for the follow. 1 second. I can see the chat again. It's just the reason why the word Goku is a no-no word in my streams is because of the fact that you know people come in here and call me Goku and all that shit, and my name's Go. It's annoying. That's a big oof. And we got a Stewie guy in here. What's up? How you doing? Welcome to Pillow World, YouTube and Twitch. Let me get up and greet you. There we go. How we doing? You know something? You guys are awesome. Yeah, see, Kiltano's immune to that because he's a mod, so feels special. My face rig thing's kind of being a douche. I desperately need a new rig, but it's fine. Everything's fine. But that's weird, Raven. Definitely weird. Not recommended way of doing that. Kiltano is indeed a towel. I can confirm. I actually don't have it. You sound like a drug, Stewie. Uh, I'm trying to think of something to say. I can't get the fruit. I don't know what. There's nothing that's going on. Settle down, Mahu. I don't know. I can't really think of anything. Put me on the spot. Probably should bring up stream levels so it will update with yeah, season 6 of The Flash is. I'm looking forward to that too. Godspeed is supposed to be the new villain. That's gonna be awesome. Yes, yeet indeed. Never quite understood what that meant, to be honest with you. I do use said word a lot. I guess it means just like I guess it's a filler word. Yeet. Yeah, Rupert enjoys ugly Christmas windows for some reason. Wouldn't understand or tell you why. Red Death? It makes sense. I gotta get caught up on Supergirl too. That's supposed to be continued. It is 2:30 in the morning. Good lord. Then that means you're doing it wrong. The only time any voice should, put a strain on your vocal cords is if you're doing it wrong in terms of like vocal placement and texture and stuff. Favorite villain from the Flash? Reverse Flash so far. Ebot Thawne. Because you should be speaking from your diaphragm, not your throat, when you do voices and stuff. Yeah, that's different. So it's not really scratchy. Yeah, I'm super hyped for that, Kyotano. gonna be awesome. Same directors and stuff. Are they writing it too? Because if they're writing it, that's awesome. Love it. All right, Raven. Take care. Thank you for stopping by. Yeah, that means you're not talking from your diaphragm, Melter. How you practice that is tighten your stomach like you're, trying to flex or whatever. Then take a deep breath and then do it while keeping your stomach tightened. Hey, Dylan, how are you? See, I think the face rig thing is out of sync because my computer's trash and I need a new one. But fine, everything's fine. How long have we been live? About 21 minutes. We're just kind of here doing our stuff and our things. But yeah, um, anybody got any other questions? I'll try to give life advice and all that. I guess I have in the past, but the reason I don't is because my friends are assholes. The on social media and such, I do not post pictures of myself because the pictures get taken and they get turned into memes. Case in point, there's a thing that my friends have done, specifically Mark Malzar, the voice of Malzar channel and all that. He took a picture of me added a beard and a turban and called it Osama Gurlan. So that's why, because my friends are dicks, so I don't typically show my face over the internet. That's why. But if it weren't for that, totally, dude. But I have done a face reveal on the channel before. So there's that. From your towel and Mountain Dew addictions? No. No. It's really bugging me how out of sync this thing is because my computer's lagging. I desperately need a new rig. We'll go for another 8 minutes on the stream. Because I got work tomorrow. I don't want to go, but it's fine. I need to shave anyway. So, yeah, I'm not sure when I get paid from my job, but that's what I intend to spend at least my first paycheck upon. I think. Don't remember whether I get paid bi-weekly. I think it's bi-weekly, but I haven't. I've worked 3 weeks now and haven't gotten paid. So I don't know what's going on. Yeah, well, I shaved about 3 days ago, but it's already coming back. Thank you for the subscription, Davion. What's my job? I work at a assisted living place where I am a caregiver for seniors. That's what I do for a living. Yep. And I go in at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. And it is bugging the ever living shit out of me that the Facebook thing is not in sync. Sometimes it is, but other times it isn't. Whatever. I could use this thing to do like, you know, uh, Dewey reactions to like longer videos and stuff because I wouldn't have to lip flap it. Is that an advertisement? That's weird. I've got 239 for me. We'll go another 5 minutes on the stream. I just wanted to come say hi to people tonight. So yeah, yeah, that's unfortunate, Dylan. For me, my job is mostly just there's a lot of downtime, but I'm not allowed to use my phone and that stuff to entertain myself. So there's a lot of just sitting around because of the fact that I typically get 4 to 5 people that I'm supposed to be taking care of for that day, and it's pretty much just, hey, do you need to pee? Are you hungry? Are you tired? Do you need anything? That's about it. But yeah, that's my job. Worst part about it is cleaning literal shit. Do not recommend. Did that today. I'm gonna go, Dante. How are you? Yeah, I just noticed that my most recent follower is named Daddy Choo. That's kind of interesting. And yeah, it is pretty boring, but I mean, hey, somebody's got to do it, you know? Hey, King David, one of those jobs where somebody's got to do it. Oh, Lord. I believe that, Dylan. It happens, bro. It happens. Um, no, I don't think I can do a voice fitting for Jiren. My voice kind of is around the teenage hero. I'm the Michael Cera of voice acting, I guess, is the best way to put it. I'm an Oreo Michael Cera. Yeah, the money is decent for the assisted living stuff. Once again, I can't complain, but then again, I am complaining because I've worked for 3 weeks and haven't gotten paid yet. So that is a problem. Yes. Kinda got a bit of a headache. Might go lay down and watch some Family Guy. Syndicated on Fox. If you haven't seen Family Guy, then go do that. Good show. Yeah, he's a great actor. Like, have you guys seen Pilgrim versus the World or Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist or Superbad? Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist is actually one of my favorite movies. I wonder if Lily has seen that. I'm gonna definitely have to show it to her. If not, regardless, I would have to show it to her because one of my favorite movies, and I would love to watch that with her. Not their best, Jermaine. That's what they're doing. If they don't sub to me, then they're not doing their best. I'm awesome. You're awesome. Be awesome together. You know? Yeah, Superbad is awesome. It's been years since I've watched it though. Whatever happened to Michael Cera? Like, I don't think he still does movies. But I'm going to go ahead and end stream. And my real name is Malik, which is unfortunate, Kyotaro. But I'm gonna go ahead and end stream. Later, everybody. Boy's a friend. He makes stupid decisions sometimes, but he is a friend. But later, everybody. Just figured I'd, have a little stew day, as I haven't streamed in a while. So later, everybody. Bye.